Hello, boys and girls. I'm glad that you were watching this review with me. We're just going to go quickly through the things that you are supposed to have learned in the Light and Shadows unit. You may notice me looking over in that direction occasionally. I have a I have my list over there. Sorry if the eye lines are distracting. So, you should be able to identify a wide variety of luminescent objects, luminescent materials, things that produce light. So, things that produce light, you can probably imagine some of them. Light bulbs inside your house, the sun, things that produce light. You should also be able to tell apart things that produce their own light versus things that need light to be seen. So, if you imagine you're in a perfectly dark room, the saying is, "It's so dark you can't even see your hand in front of your face," because your hand needs light in order to be seen. It is reflecting light that hits it into your eyes so that you can see it. So all of the objects that are not producing their own light need light to bounce off of them in order to get into your eyes so that you can see them. And colored objects absorb lots of the light that hits them and only reflect back a specific wavelength that corresponds to the color that they are. So let's say the red. I wonder if you can hear those birds. So, for example, the red on this deck of cards is one specific wavelength. The light that is hitting that is the same light that is making this shirt blue and the same light that is making this brown. And, the violin behind me brown and the chair behind me red. All of it is the same light. Just those things absorb lots of the parts of that light and reflect back only a little bit of that light, the specific wavelength that is that color, according to your eyes. So opaque objects do reflect tons and tons and tons of light. Light always travels outward from a source. So the luminescent objects that you're imagining inside of your mind, whether it's the sun or a light bulb or whatever, it shines light out in all directions until it is blocked by an opaque material. Translucent materials let the light through disturbed a little bit. Transparent objects let the light through as undisturbed as possible. Water does slow down light as it passes through it, which is interesting. Light speed is light speed in a vacuum. So yeah, light travels outward from a source until it is blocked by an opaque material. It is either absorbed by or reflected by that opaque material. It just doesn't go through it. There are shadows that are produced by you standing in the way of the light from the sun. The light goes hundreds of thousands of kilometers straight through the space, in through the atmosphere, and bounces off of your body, or is absorbed by your body, depending on the color of shirt that you are wearing that day. Different parts of that light will be absorbed and reflected, but none of it is going through you, which is why your shadow is underneath you on the exact opposite side that the sun is. So as the sun moves across the sky, your shadow moves across the ground on the exact opposite direction of the sun. You're also supposed to be able to recognize that light can be reflected and that shiny surfaces, such as polished metals and mirrors, are good reflectors. So there you go. Mirrors are good at reflecting things. There's a question in the quiz that asks why mirrors and polished metals and stuff are specifically good at reflecting things, and you should be able to answer that. Yay, kids. So I hope that helps you. So we went through a lot of things in this unit. I hope that you have a better understanding of how light works and how shadows work and why your shirt looks like it's the color that it is. And I will see you again next week as we start our Growing Living Things unit. What is it called? Plant Growth and Changes. we'll be visiting our worm bin again. We still have living worms. They're making teeny tiny baby worms. And we're going to use that worm casting in order to grow some plants. So, I can't wait to see you guys next week. Have a good time with the test. Hooray!